Hi, welcome to Cherie's Weight Loss Journey. We're on our way for our daytime walk. We're getting a late start. Um, this morning I had decided to work on some projects. Um, and, once I was at a good stopping point, I decided it was time to not neglect the walk. Snoopy, are you ready for the walk? Yep, she's ready. Um, as I was doing my projects today, I was listening to an audiobook that was called Beyond the Physical, right? And this book, ran through a sequence of things, that I believe, right? And the first one was that religion is the beginning teaching, the ground level of spirituality. And once you've understood and learned that spirituality, you advance to the level of metaphysics. Okay? They also said that in the process of, acquiring a higher spirituality, that, a lot of people will get sidetracked in magic, right? Whether esoteric or occultic. Okay? But the ultimate goal, is to achieve, healing and learning lessons so that you don't have to return back to this earth. In the occultic and sometimes the esoteric community, a lot of them are, stuck in relationships, right? Needing to find someone, to be on on this journey with, whether in the 3D or the 4D. And, that's cool because, we're all here at different levels. Okay? Damn. Right there? My dog just pooped over the bridge. This is where I'm walking. Right now I'm on top of the bridge. It's a beautiful view. And I have to pick up dog poop. Okay? One of the good things about picking up dog poop is you can see just how healthy your dog is. My dog is pretty healthy. The food brand that I bought her was Rachel Ray dog food. right? I used to watch, come here, come here. What a pretty dog, huh? Pretty dog, right? Um, One of the things that I used to do in the past was watch Rachel Ray because she had 30-minute meal 30-minute meal preparations. And you know, they weren't like like extravagant, but she cooked a variety of food. Look at that dog. Wow. That is a pretty dog. Pretty. And so, you know, when you have a family, hey, come on. When you have a family and not a lot of time, you want to figure out ways to cook a variety of meals in a short amount of time. And sometimes it's really hard, you know, when, you know, life happens and you just want to you know, continue, you know, preparing, you know, healthy meals for your family. You know, that's not gonna exhaust you, right? And a lot of times when we watch people, you know, prepare something, you know, that lets us know, you know, just how much time and effort, you know, it's gonna take. Because, you know, we can sit in dread, you know. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, right? And, you know, would try to opt for either, you know, pre-prepared meals or a common theme today is, you know, Uber Eats or DoorDash. I was tempted to not take my walk because it's around 2 o'clock. And hey, pretty doggy, huh? Pretty doggy. And it's, well, I think when I last looked, it was like 85 degrees. Oh man, I want to take home these baby dolls. Take home a handful of baby dolls before I leave. Put it in my house. They're just growing wild out here. Oh, that's the second time. I already threw the bag away. Wow. Jesus. I remember coming down here Oh, probably maybe a month or two ago, walking this trail, and my feet, my leg, my knee, they was hurting, and I was just saying, just go down here. I'm still having, mild pain, in my groin area or upper thigh, I'm not sure. It's not on the outside, it's somewhere internal. And this is great because, I can get free vitamin D. Keep your mind out of the gutter. So yesterday I did have a snack before, after my walk, my nighttime walk, and I ate tuna fish and a boiled egg. I added like a teaspoon of mayonnaise, and it was okay, right? Normally I'm used to drowning it in mayonnaise. Today I'm thinking I want to buy me a salad from Wendy's. Okay? Really. I had a shake this morning, so I already started consuming my protein, and I'm determined. I'm determined to stick with this. I'm seeing great results. And I know that these aren't the end results, so I have to keep going. Okay? Today is the full moon. Or should I say we're still under the full moon energies. And one of the things that I have wanted to say was, when we say, full moon in Pisces, 12th house, house of fantasy, sex, addictions, and unseen enemies. A lot of times we might even say, ruled by Pluto. Now, we don't talk about Pluto that much, right? Pluto has a very long elliptical in our orbit, and I guess one of the lords of Pluto is called Poseidon, right? And mythology, Poseidon had, created like the water nymphs, um, and other mythical creatures of the water, right? Dreams, right? Sirens, yeah. Um, so, yeah, you know, a lot of people are going to be pulled, in that direction. Of course, you can just acknowledge the pull and say, I'm good, right? And, keep it moving. Um, Neptune and Saturn are also in the 12th house. So Neptune is at a benefic placement in Pisces. And however, with Saturn in that house, the planet of restrictions, and for those people who might be going through their Saturn return because their Saturn placement was in Pisces, bless you, right? Bless you. It's not easy going through your Saturn returns. Typically, you only get about 2 to 3 of them in your lifetime. Hey, what a pretty doggy. Come on. Yeah, this was kind of what I was trying to avoid when I came down here to park to the trail along the lake. Was, the tug of war with Snoopy. And I had told her on the way down here that, look, we're going to pass by the doggy park. If you behave yourself, we'll stop at the doggy park on the way back. But, I'm having a feeling that my idea of behaving and her idea of behaving is not quite the same. So now, I know a lot of people will say, Saturn is a planet of restrictions. But Saturn, will also give rewards. Okay? Saturn will give you spiritual gifts. Right? If you earned it. Because There's good and bad in everything, right? Oh, this is beautiful. I think I'm gonna stop here for a minute. Look. Right? We're gonna stop here for a minute. This bench is dedicated to Gary Waller, the son and brother and friend who made us laugh more, worry less, and live with passion. Okay. Sometimes, you know, I'll set out, to do a walk, and I'll be so focusing on trying to get my walk in that I don't stop to actually enjoy the walk, And that was one of the things that I had noticed, the last time, I had came down to the lake with my dog because, she would not sit down. And I'm like, hey, we're sitting down, we're taking a break, rest, right? And she wouldn't sit down. No, she wouldn't. Right? And I guess, she is a working dog, right? And I'm proud of that. She's a good working dog. But getting back to what I was saying about beyond physicality, that book was, talking about, how, you can elevate. You can sit down, sit, relax. And I was listening very intently because I wanted to actually see if, there was some things that I disagreed with, and there really wasn't. So I recommend that book, especially if, you're seeking to have knowledge of, the levels of spirituality. It also talked about, what you put out there, eventually you get back. If you have resentment, anger, or you don't forgive someone for, causing you pain, and how that affects your spiritual journey. It's a good book to listen to. It's an audio book that I was listening to. I love listening to audiobooks because while I'm listening, I can still, work on my projects. There were some areas, I had to give it my full attention because there are areas I know I need reinforcement in. Okay? Yeah. And part of that area was, identifying perils in your world and in your environment. um, such as the parallel between, your house and your home, right? To your vessel, your body, okay? And, or, he even talked about parts where, you might have, like a medical setback, which is, kind of what happened to me, having a medical setback, and, you know, why I didn't, you know, embark on, the recovery was because of maybe some type of resentment that I didn't feel like I deserved the illnesses that I acquired. Um, and it wasn't always just the illnesses that I had acquired, but um, the um, the fact that you know I lost my medical when I lost my job, and it was like, well, how am I going to have my medication? And then the pandemic hit, you know, and in my mind, I was like, dang, I'm just screwed for sure, right? In the pandemic, people were getting laid off, you know, people were being forced to take the shot, and, you know, all of the rules and stuff that went along with, uh, being 6 feet apart and isolation. And truly, I would not be able to survive the mask, right? I just couldn't. I cannot. I cannot breathe, you know, my own exhalation, right? No. Uh, uh-uh. And, yeah. So, you know, by the grace of God, I got through it. You know, there were things going on during the pandemic that, it had to be a miracle, and some other bullshit that, never would have been able to happen. So, the good part about it is, that's behind us, right? And I know myself and other people, you know, we're still, traumatized by it, um, to the point where, you know, we got to have a stockpile and call it an emergency pantry or something. Um, Okay, outfit of the day. So, man, it is nice by this lake, I'm telling you. It is so peaceful. There's a breeze, and when there's a cloud that passes in front of the sun, it's so cool and man. And if that water had been clean water, it would definitely feel like paradise, right? So I'm really hoping that a lot of people, you know, um, you know, elevate to metaphysics. Uh, this is kind of in correlation to when Jesus said, you know, there will be people that will follow me that know more than me, and interesting enough, you know, in the age of Pisces, you know, that spirit of Pisces was basically controlling the information, had indicated that, you know, the people weren't ready, and as a result, um, it was given to those who appeared to be ready, and, you know, like anything else in a capitalist society, you know, only the privileged were allowed to learn it, to obtain the knowledge. Um, and in a way, you know, a lot of people weren't ready for it. And, you know, when they acquired a certain amount of power, you know, in order for them to believe it, they had to use it. They had to know that they had command of it, so they used it again and again and again, you know, and then they wanted to know how much power they had, right? And a lot of them, you know, just went off of the deep end and just said, well, you know, do I have the power to eliminate someone, you know, like I do in a video game? It's like, wow, no, grasshopper. Because when you really are ready for that kind of power, you ain't gonna want to eliminate somebody. You would do your job and eliminate demons, corrupt principalities, okay? Because because you want to be able to, leave this world and say, yeah, I I exorcised demons off of the planet, right? And that statement alone is huge. It's huge, right? Because you had to come to a certain kind of spiritual elevation to do that. Yeah, I've eliminated a lot of demons. You know, yeah, I can say, in my alter ego, I was a demon slayer. Yep, I was a demon slayer. And I didn't have no pigs or nothing to put it in. So I just put it into the black hole out there in the universe, right? Like, why not? Isn't the black hole like, the catch-all trash can in the universe? I thought that's exactly where they belong. Um, yeah. So I can say this is probably the most pleasant day of my semi-retirement that I have had, because of the weight that I lost, the cleaning out of my vessel, and the daily spiritual practices I've been doing, and, being able to work on my projects, you know, and of course, I still have to work on that resentment of, being terminated, a year and a half before, being eligible for a lump sum pension. Because, if I had got that lump sum pension, man, I had plans. But I guess I was supposed to be here. I was supposed to be here. I was supposed to do whatever work, you know, that I'm supposed to do, you know. Um, and even doing spiritual work, you know, you can suffer injuries, you know. Don't get it twisted. You can suffer injuries. Um, some of these demons are very clever, very clever, you know. And these are, you know, some of the things that you would be able to see and understand when you go beyond religion into the metaphysical. And like I said, metaphysical is like the knowledge alone, right? Esoterical is kind of like the knowledge and utilizing it in a positive, practical manner. Occult knowledge is dark magic. And esoteric they utilize, they work with angels, the occult, you know, they work, mainly with demons. Some of them, they'll even try to conjure up, uh, you know, Satan, Lucifer, the devil, and other powerful dark forces. Look at what somebody left there at the park. So, yeah, the world's a spiritual thing, right? Somebody left a spiritual statue. It kind of looks like Kali Ma sitting on a lotus, right? So that's somebody that is probably on some you know vengeance pathway, and Kali Ma, you know uh, it's part of the Hindu, right? And you'll see that in every region, every country, and sometimes every neighborhood, that you'll have a group of people that want to combine spiritual forces and you know try to manifest something. And if you don't believe me, you can just walk down pretty much any neighborhood, and you'll see something hanging, on their house, or um, in their yard, kind of like um, a spiritual symbolism. Sometimes they don't even recognize why they did it, but they did it. Now me, I have a 5-pointed star on my house. The 5-pointed star is all of the elements in the ethers. And interesting enough, they have the 5-pointed star on the flag of Texas. Yeah. So even on crest and flags and buildings, there are symbols, right? One of the things, I had amused myself when I was younger was wanting to be an architect. Yeah. And dang, I can honestly say my mind was blown when I went to Paris, right? And Paris had, architecture that, I had not really seen before. Get down, baby. Get down. You want to say hi? I think she wants to get walking again. Okay, let's go this way. So, it was something that was achievable at one time in my life. And my dad, was an engineer draftsman, and he was showing me some of some of the ways that you can use these slide rulers and compasses and stuff, to assist in your calculations and all of that stuff. But, that was kind of cut short when I came back to the States. And when I came back to the States, I really couldn't understand, the limitations, that I felt when I came back to the States. And I couldn't understand it because, on a sexual level, American women, have the most freedom, but in every other way they don't. In every other way they don't. They don't have, well, okay, let me clarify this. It's kind of similar where they're like, okay, we'll let some have, all of the free rights of being a free sovereign person, while others, we won't. And it does kind of, tie in with racism, right? Because even when, they abolished slavery, you can't really abolish racism, right? And instead they try to do things like implement, regulations of inclusivity, right? Things like, affirmative action, allocating, resources and supplements to assist those that have been impoverished and disadvantaged. But with the with them abolishing affirmative action on the grounds that they feel like, the playing field has been leveled, and yet, it was like, how is the playing field leveled when you only really let, a small percentage of the people benefit, while covertly, creating institutionalized slavery through demographics, through inconsistencies And of course, nepotism. Okay? Right? What is nepotism? Nepotism is where, you hire your friends and family because you like them or you love them, or heck, maybe, you're like figuring, you better look out for them or they're going to be asking you for some money. Right? So, yeah. Um, Interesting enough, what is it? It's September. We're less than 2 months away from our presidential election. Um, we have a woman running for president. Now, true enough, I really feel like, having a woman president, can be healing for women, right? Because the women are like the last to be enslaved. Okay? Oh, look. See? There's another thing in the midst of the trees. Yeah. Maybe somebody was wishing upon a star. Wishing upon a dragonfly. I don't know. Um, like I said, I do feel like it would be healing, and however, ultimately, I don't feel like women are the ones to ratify the cult of man and the misogynistic patriarchy. Okay? That war will happen amongst men. And of course, there will probably be women suffering collateral damage, okay? As collateral damage, because this is a need for power that, they're not getting anywhere in the world. So they can't understand why it's important to not enslave your wife or your partner. Right? It's like, yeah, this is my last power front. You're gonna tell me I can't have power in my house? And they can't get over that thought that, we all have the right to be free. We all have the right to pursue happiness, right? And it's just unbelievable that, they can't see that. Well, if I don't have power over her, then I don't want to do anything for her, and it's stuff like that. It's like, oh, we thought you loved her, right? You're in America, you're not dealing with arranged marriages. You selected your partner. You chose the one you wanted to be with. And even when you said you wanted to be with a man, they legalized that too, right? But, hey, not even another man wants to be controlled, right? They don't mind, intimacy and romance and sharing some of the burden, but they don't want to be dumped on, used and abused, because you say you have the right to do it. Oh, you do it because you can? Oh, and the legal system is like, I don't know how we're going to now try to regulate the emotions of these people, right? However, they're trying, right? They updated the DSM-5 for what constitutes psychological instability, and yeah, it has been updated to include a lot of different behaviors. And I was looking at it, and I was going to post it on my Facebook page, but the whole list, it didn't fit on my screenshot. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out some other way to download it, because it included things like OCD. It defined other behaviors as just yeah. I'm just gonna have to show it to you, because it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming, and and that's something new, because a lot of people, they're like, yeah, they're gonna beat the system if they've been categorized as having psychological problems, and yet that same categorization can also lead you to be confined, to living, Dang, in some type of concentration camp of some sort or mental institution. Anyway, I'm gonna take some of these weeds that look like baby dolls home, and I'm gonna end my video here. So bye.